Hey y'all, check out my new noise canceling headphones. Pretty sweet, huh? If only they made noise canceling headphones for the voices inside my head. Because trust me, when you're dealing with cancer, it can get real loud up in here. You're never gonna make it. You're gonna die. Are you gonna keep your bladder? See what I mean? Very loud. But here's the good news. I think I found a way to cancel the noise in my head and yours. A way to silence all those voices so that you have a more productive day, a more peaceful night, so that you can face whatever it is with truly some peace and quiet. You know, it's worked in my cancer fight, and I think it could work with whatever you're carrying right now. So let's get to it in sudden urgency.
Every morning on TV I share the broadcast news, 7 TV Emmys and 1 million online views. Then the doctor gave a bitter pill to swallow. This just in, it's cancer, no more script to follow. Sudden urgency, now I'm living wide awake. No more teleprompter, no more time to waste. From TV anchor to the headlines of my heart, it's sudden urgency, a brand new start.
Hello and welcome to Sudden Urgency. I'm your host. Sorry. Hello and welcome. I'm Chris Parente. This is Sudden Urgency, my completely unplanned and totally unscripted journey with bladder cancer, what I'm learning and how it just might help you. I'm Chris with the big C. It's been exactly 268 days since I first got the diagnosis. 9 months of a life totally changed. And I want to be honest with you. Cancer scared the hell out of me. But there came a point at which I realized that the thoughts in my head were maybe more destructive than even cancer. I'll say it again. The thoughts in my head were doing more damage than even the cancer. That's when I knew something had to give. That's when I knew I had to find a way to get the noise canceling headphones for my mind, for my spirit, so I could move forward and face it with serenity. You know, whether you're facing cancer or maybe you're grieving the loss of somebody or there's a divorce or a change in your job or financial issues, really anything with an uncertain future, the bottom line is that the voices in your head can become the loudest room in the house, and then you really can't function. You certainly can't find peace. And I did some research, and I want to read this to you. The amygdala. It's part of your brain, the amygdala. It's hardwired to protect you. And when it senses a threat, whether that threat is, I'm going to lose my job, or whether that threat is, I've got cancer, your amygdala does not whisper. Your amygdala is very loud and very persistent because it's trying to save your life, but it doesn't quit. And in today's day and age, it doesn't really benefit you. It certainly didn't benefit me. For the first 2 months after my cancer diagnosis, folks, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep a wink. I was up all night long with the voices in my head. You heard them earlier. On repeat. My brain trying to solve a problem that there was no solution to. It was driving me nuts. I was losing my sanity. It was like a 24-hour news channel with the same story repeating over and over and over. I call it the hamster wheel. I'm guessing you can relate to it. And it's time to get off the hamster wheel. So ladies and gentlemen, how did I find peace? Because guess what? I have a major appointment this afternoon. I'm at peace with it. You don't hear me going nuts. I think I found a system, and I'm calling it the ATM. Folks, it's the ATM method to quieting your mind and allowing you to better face whatever it is you're dealing with. ATM. And best of all, no overdraft fees. And you can make a withdrawal anytime you want. Let's get to it. ATM. A is anger anxiety. A, how to handle the anger and anxiety. And a couple of real world tips. I love them. First thing is, folks, I call it the rage journal. And it saved me. You get a little journal, a pen, and you allot some time, maybe 2 minutes a day. And during those 2 minutes, you just get it all out there. You get it all out there. Everything. The fear, the anger, the anxiety. You don't even have to write words. I got to a point where I would just do scritch marks and scribbles and angry things while I'm thinking the thoughts. That works as long as you're getting it out and onto the paper. And after those 2 minutes, ding, you put the journal down and you're done. I then took those papers and burned them as a way to release the whole thing. It's a way literally to vomit out all of the shit that's in your head. It gives it someplace to go. And then you burn it and you're done for the day. God, it was a life changer for me. And the other thing that relates to anger and anxiety for me is to schedule some time. Your brain likes to schedule. Your brain wants to do what it's going to do. So tell your brain, okay, look, you can worry, you can fret, you can be scared or angry for these 3 minutes every day. Mine was 12:30 to 12:35 every day. I scheduled a time to let my brain do its thing and worry and loop and loop and worry. It had 3 minutes a day to do it. At the end of those 3 minutes, I put those thoughts away. And if they cropped up again later in the day, I'd remind myself, ha 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 ha, ooh, no, this is not the time for that right now. We have time every afternoon at 12:30. Schedule a time to indulge the brain in its worst habits and then be done with it. And you'll be amazed how handling that anger and anxiety, scheduling it, can really reduce the noise in your head, certainly make it a whole lot better. Up next, the T in ATM. And I know, people don't like therapy. But I got to a point where I realized the doctors were fighting cancer. What I was fighting were my thoughts about cancer. Okay? My thoughts about cancer. I didn't know how to handle them, and I couldn't handle it alone. I had a doctor for my body. Why not a doctor to help me figure out my mind? And honestly, everything I'm talking about today, I learned in therapy. There are therapists that deal with specializing in anything. Mine was somebody who works exclusively with oncology patients. I interviewed her, and I'm going to do a whole segment on her, a whole episode. But I want you to hear just a bit of what she has to say about those voices in your head.
Not only is it traumatic learning that you have cancer, but then you're overloaded with all of this information that comes with this diagnosis. So there are decisions that have to be made. There are a lot of like future sort of things where suddenly you've got to put your life on hold because you're scheduling all these appointments and going through treatment and all these kinds of things. And so your brain is trying to like not only process the emotional aspects of it. What does this mean to me? Thinking about your own mortality and things like that. How's it going to affect the people in my life? But you're also trying to process through all these different decisions that have to be made.
I know, it makes you uncomfortable, but trust me, I've had 30 catheters put in during my fight against bladder cancer. I know what discomfort is all about. Therapy's no biggie. It's a little embarrassing, but the benefit is well worth it. Anger, anxiety, therapy, and now we come to the last piece of the puzzle. That, of course, is M, mantras meditation. Nam myoho renge kyo. I know you're thinking that's hocus pocus bullshit. Truth of the matter is, you're already doing mantras, whether you believe in it or not. And my mantras were bad ones. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I am sick. I am sick. Over and over, I was doing a mantra. So why not reprogram your brain to do mantras that are positive? Mantras that can benefit you, that can bring the peace and quiet to your brain. Honestly, your brain operates on patterns. And again, a little research I did. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. Okay, your brain recognizes and reorganizes itself based on repetition. If you repeat the panic, you're going to feel panic. If you repeat the peace, your brain learns peace. So I chose to reprogram my brain. Some people call them prayers. That's great. I had mantras every day. In fact, the first one I came up with, and I use it to this day, I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am healed. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am healed. I am healthy, I am vibrant, all day long. Whenever my brain started to wander, I gave it that mantra to latch onto. And so my brain started just to simply repeat that positive thought. I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am healed. It gave it something to latch onto, neuroplasticity, repetition. And now my brain, instead of talking all night long about the worst case scenarios, is talking about being healthy and vibrant and healed. And don't you want that for your life, whatever you're facing? Isn't that the better alternative? I also did something every day. I did a prayer every morning, again, to reprogram my brain through repetition. I've said the prayer every day since I was diagnosed. So that's 9 months worth. And I've never shared it publicly. I'd like to share it with you right now. This is what I say every single day. Earth below and sky above, I am now filled with healing love. Cell by cell, my body mends. To this request, the universe attends. Heal my bladder, mind, and soul. I am now healthy, free, complete, and whole. So mote it be, so shall it be, and so it is. I say that prayer every single day. And again, in doing so, reprogram my brain with positive repetition. So if there is noise, it's pleasant. One more thing very quickly I want to tell you about. There are guided affirmations. You don't have to make up your own. You can just pop in your headphones. I used to do this. Go walk the dogs, pop in your headphones, and listen to a guided affirmation that somebody else is doing. That says you can retrain your brain that way too, and it's a little easier. I have to give this gal a big shout out. Her name is Ruth Napperstack. Look her up, Ruth Napperstack. Her affirmations are used by Mayo Clinic, Sloan Kettering, Johns Hopkins. It's not hogwash. It's not mumbo jumbo. Hospitals are doing this to help people heal more quickly and more fully. And I hope you'll give it a try too. It's an easy way to replace those negative loops with positive ones. So that's it right there, baby. The ATM method. Anger, anxiety, schedule it. Therapy, schedule it. Meditation or mantra, schedule it. Again, it's the best way I've found to cancel the noise. And no PIN number. You don't have to remember your PIN number. Maybe your noise isn't cancer. Maybe it's grief. Maybe it's anxiety, addiction, loss. Whatever that noise is in your head, I hope today I've helped you a little bit turn down the volume. Get the noise canceling going on and find peace. So let's do it. Till next week on Sudden Urgency, when you can turn up the volume again, huh? How about that? They're not bows, but it's working.
Sudden urgency, now I'm living wide awake. No more teleprompter, no more time to waste. From TV anchor to the headlines of my heart, it's sudden urgency, a brand new start.